at first I thought it was a little slow. Like, what am I watching? This is ET phone home, you know. And I'm thinking, like I was thinking, of, if I look like that, I'll be walking around my naked too all the time. That guy's in shape. So, but. All right. Hello.
Hello. Welcome to this episode of What the Flicks podcast. It's
79.
It's 79. And tonight
goodness.
and tonight or this afternoon, however you want to call it, this evening, Bob is not with us tonight, and Patty is on. What do you call that? Video
Remote.
cam. She's remote.
FaceTime.
She's remote. She's being remote.
I am remote.
Yes. So I'm Susan Ayers.
I'm Lon Shima.
I'm Patty Smith.
Jorge Sanchez.
Okay, so the movies this week are PK, The Electric State, Heretic, The Last Showgirl. So we're going to start with PK.
Oh, that was my pick. And this is, again, one of those selections by when we did RRR, when people wrote in. I sort of want to see it only because it was the people who did Three Idiots. So it's directed by Rajkumar Hirani. And excuse me if I mispronounce these names. I always feel terrible that I haven't learned the
Well,
right
Bob's
pronunciation.
not here. Bob's not here.
To critique.
And then he co-wrote the movie with this Abhijat Joshi. And it stars Aamir Khan, who I just think is a wonderful actor. He's just nailing everything I see him in. And Anushka Sharma as Jagu. And it's a fascinating story, at least I thought. And because one thing, it sort of turned into another thing, and that sort of took me by surprise. It stars, Aamir Khan plays an alien who gets to Earth. He's butt naked, and he has only this jewel around his neck, which apparently you find out later in the movie, it's a remote for his ship. So, of course, he goes up and he doesn't speak the language or anything. He just goes up to guy, silently stares at this guy who just sees this, somebody from India just looks at this guy, said he's butt naked except for the jewel. He thinks the jewel might be worth something, so he just steals it and runs. So that leaves this poor guy left on Earth. Then it flashes to a couple in Belgium. You meet Jagu. She's, I think, studying journalism or covering something in Belgium, and he is if I'm not mistaken, he works at the Pakistani embassy, and he's a Muslim. So, of course, they meet, they fall in love, and then she, of course, announces to her parents, oh, I want to marry this guy. And a hilarious scene, the father, who just takes the laptop when they're interfacing, goes to this sort of a holy man. I don't know what you would call him really, but he seems to be some type of, they call him God man, I know, or credit him as God man.
Were they Buddhists? He looked kind of like Buddha.
Well, that's the thing. Exactly, had the shaved head. But see, that's what I think. When it came to the religion, because they did say praise Lord Shiva, so I'm assuming it's still a Hindi kind of thing.
And it's also like a tele something, like you see it on tele.
Right, exactly. That it's all about the donating money But so he tells her, oh, you can't get married to a Muslim because he's going to betray you, And I think, and it's funny because you get sort of that, I don't know if you'd call it racism or prejudice that maybe Hindis have against Muslims. We know that goes on. So anyway, they don't get married. So she comes back to India. Now, while she's there, again, she's doing all these reporting and like on dogs that are going to commit suicide. And she thinks, I have to come up with a better story. Well, she sees Aamir Khan's character, who just basically is handing, like, have you seen this God? Have you seen this God? And he's handing out to people. And she's sort of intrigued by him and she quizzes him. And it's almost like a whimsical conversation. But she does take a liking to him. Then she starts observing him, and then the more she starts observing him and then finally getting to talk to him, at first she thinks, oh my God, he's actually crazy. But then she realizes, no, he does sort of know things. But he's also tells her that his name is PK. And the only reason he gets that name because his bizarre behavior once he comes to all the places, like I said, not speaking the language and just sort of interpreting what he thinks is going on. Like when he's naked, he sees a car that's just, he calls it the dancing car. And then he knows there's clothes there. So he says, oh, I guess you put the clothes in because he makes he notices how everybody's wearing all different colored clothes and stuff like that.
Huh?
I just happen to think this was a very funny movie, but the part I liked most is when they go into religion. And that sort of took me by surprise. I just thought it was going to be a fish out of water story. But then when it comes to the religious part, that's where it really, in my opinion, takes off completely. It's like, oh, wow, they're really addressing this. Oh, though I do admit, the co-stars I thought were sort of fun. Boman Irani plays Jagu's boss, and he's the guy who played that, remember Professor Virus or Dr. Virus in Three Idiots, right? Saurabh Shuka, he's the one who plays the holy man. I think he's actually very good. But Sanjay Dutt, he's the character I sort of liked. He's the one who played this band leader who basically befriends because while they're driving, they hit PK. And of course, they're going to just leave him because no one saw it. But then he feels guilty. He goes and he says he takes him to a doctor. Then the doctor says, I think he has amnesia. He's not talking. We don't know anything about him. So then he feels responsible for him. And for me, the best song in the movie is they sing this song about him being sort of a pervert. I thought was so funny and such a fun song. But PK keeps trying to grab people's hands. And because the thing is, he can absorb and learn the language. So that was the fun part. So the band leader gets him finally, finds someone to hold his hands, and he learns the language and he can communicate. And then he does everything he can to help him. And he tells him, oh, you have to go to Delhi. And then that's when he actually meets Jagu. But then they just he just figures, oh, religion, this. If you pray to God, you'll find your thing. So the first thing he buys a little trinket, an icon of a god, and he says, oh, I'm hungry. I wish I had food. And then somebody gives him a samosa, a food right there. And he says, it works. It really works. So then he wants his remote and then nothing happens. So he thinks God's broken or my icon's broken. Then they go to this whole level about different religions, what they do, what he tries to do, because he literally studies all the religions. And then it comes to the point where he has to prove himself as far as what he thinks is wrong with religion. And again, another surprising part is I thought how touching the ending really becomes. I got sort of choked up at the ending. It's like, oh my God, I'm really buying into the drama now of this thing. So I have to admit, I thought it was a fun movie. It's not I wouldn't say it's as funny as Three Idiots, but I just thought it was very entertaining from beginning to end, despite its 2.5 hour running time. So I would recommend this movie. What do you think, Patty?
I love this movie. This movie was brilliant. Whoever wrote it was brilliant. And you've explained the content of the movie, but overall, I would say it's a story, yes, about an alien. But then they intertwine this religious philosophy that is brilliant in the story. And it still is funny, sad, all of it. And I just thought the writing was brilliant because it hits every religion, especially with the evangelist, even though he's what I mean. And it seems to work through him, but everything they say is really true about all religions. They all have a similarity in what you do, how you believe. I thought whoever wrote it, it was just brilliant.
Oh, me, okay.
Yeah.
So, echo. Yeah, I also thought it was pretty clever, really brilliant too. I like it's just how... At first, I thought it was a little slow. What am I watching? This is E.T. Phone Home, And I'm thinking, if I look like that, I'll be walking around naked all the time. That guy's in shape. And they had funny moments, and I thought, okay, there's a love story. There's a girl who likes, and they're gonna go into this, he's the boyfriend is Muslim, and she's What Hindi? Was it Hindi?
I'm assuming she's Hindi, yeah.
And there was going to be a clash, and okay, like Romeo and Juliet, it's kind of romantic comedy. But then, like you said, sounded, and so I'm like, okay. And then he really, once he starts going into his thing with religion, like because he wants to, I guess, once his key was stolen, so he wants to go back home. He can't get home. So who can help me? And he goes, why don't you pray to God or whatever? But it just makes such a, once he figures out, okay, these people, earthlings, they pray to these gods, and then he figures out they all have different gods. So which one's going to work for me? And he goes into all different religions. It kind of reminds me of, hello, are you there, God? My name is Margaret.
Yes.
Then she goes to different religions too, because she's trying to find one. So he goes to a different one, and he really kind of shows you a little thing on each religion. And then, but then he also starts figuring out that, well, certain things that like it's how every religion has this thing that you have to do constantly. Like, we have to suffer. Like you see him, some people are rolling on the ground, some people are smacking themselves on the back.
Right.
Some people are walking on their knees and crawling. Some people, it's like, why are you bathing the cow? Some people bathing the cow with milk. If the cow is not choking or something. But so it makes out really clever observations about religion. And it shows you how hopeful religion is to people. But sometimes see how ridiculous it can be too, how people do things. And of course, he's, obviously there's a guy that they always pray to the tele religious guy, and they have a face off because he thinks that he figures out that it's not. It's the connection that is broken. The connection to the person is broken. It's not them that broken. It's the connection. So everybody starts saying, whenever somebody's bullshitting, they say, "Oh, it's broken. The connection is broken."
He's got a wrong number.
He's got a wrong number or something. But
That was really.
and there's the one scene where he brings in all the different religions people.
Yes.
And he tells them what are they. He tells them what his religion is, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I thought that is genius. That was just so to me it was just a total study on religion, and it was funny too. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was like, wow, people should see this thing.
Yeah, there was also the part, I'm trying to remember when he was, because he's almost like a child. He comes into this world naked, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's trying to learn kind of how it works kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But there's one thing he says, I remember about the cow. It's kind of like, well, I don't understand. It's like this religion does this, but they say they love cow, but they eat them or something.
Yeah, one says you have to eat, sacrifice the cow. The other one says don't touch the cow or something. Right. They're like, it's just so like, different, right? So they all contradict each other.
Exactly.
And also when he touches people's hands, I think he also not just learns the language, but he also
remember when he
sees memories.
And isn't he like a brothel lady that he touches her hands?
The guy gets him a hooker.
He's getting all the info from her.
He goes, I got that thing for you, right? He goes, he has to hold it. It was just really interesting because, and then I thought was really great when he was kind of, so you're a baby, right? And first he learns about basic things. But that time when he falls in love, oh my God, I thought that was hysterical, right? It was just all of a sudden, it was like...
Right.
Every little meticulous thing, everything the person does. I just thought it, like you, Patty, I just thought it was brilliant. It went through every religion and trying to understand the because basically the guy tells him, I don't know what to tell you. You just have to talk to God. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, talk to God. Okay, that's what kind of leads him on. He's like, oh, well, okay, I want to talk to God. And everybody kind of inputs that, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just brilliant. And actually, PK means, in Indian, it means tipsy.
Right.
Right? Because they thought he was drunk. They thought he was drunk.
It means what?
It means tipsy.
Well, wasn't that because isn't that what they kept calling him? Was that with the subtitles tipsy? His name is tipsy?
Yes, tipsy means drunk.
Every time he would say these bizarre things, it's like, are you drunk? Like, are you tipsy? Basically, right, yeah.
Right. So, no, I love this movie. And because at first I was like, because Indian movies have two things that I don't like. They have a lot of singing and dancing. And they have in the middle of everything. And then they are very long. So I wasn't really looking forward to it. I was like, okay, I gotta watch it. Although I have to say I have liked, some of the more, what do you call it? The serious ones. Oh. It involves they're actually longer. Right. Yeah. Right. It's kind of like, so I I was watching, but I was like blown away. I just loved it. I just love this movie.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I guess
Patty.
now we do Patty.
I'm going to give it a 10. I think it's that good.
Yeah, it is
Wow.
really good.
Yeah, I'll give it a 10 too. I think it's that good. I think people need to watch it. It's
Wow.
Yeah, I give it a 9.
such a clever.
Well, I gave this a 7.
No.
I really did.
Yes, so if you
7.
can check out this movie and open your horizons,
Currently on Netflix, if that helps.
Yeah, it's on Netflix,
Mhm,
right?
Yeah.
So that's it for this week,
We'll be
and
back.
watch the movie. Let us know what you think, and we'll be back next week.